Hey folks, let me ask you something right off the bat. What if I told you there's a 2008 Lincoln penny sitting in someone's junk drawer right now that's worth a jaw-dropping $2.7 million? Yep, a single, ordinary-looking 1-cent coin that could change your life faster than a lottery ticket. But stick around, because today we're diving deep into this wild and wonderful world of the 2008 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. I'll tell you why it's rare, what to look for, and how this coin managed to fetch millions. Plus, I've got a hilarious little story about the time I almost spent a valuable penny on a gas station hot dog. Yeah, you heard that right, so grab your coffee, check those couch cushions, and let's talk coins that are worth way more than $1. First off, let's clear up what makes this 2008 Lincoln penny so special. Now, normally, Lincoln pennies from 2008 aren't worth much more than face value. You'd think it's just another copper-coated coin. But here's the kicker. The rare one we're talking about has no mint mark and a few very unique characteristics that drive collectors absolutely nuts. So most coins made in Philadelphia, which is one of the U.S. Mint's main facilities, don't carry a mint mark. That's totally normal. But this particular 2008 penny stands out because it's missing more than just a mark. It's got some serious minting errors that should have never made it into circulation. That's where the magic and the money happens. What sets the $2.7 million penny apart is a dramatic double die error. Basically, the design on the coin was struck more than once by the press, but not in perfect alignment. This creates a doubling effect on the date, the words "In God We Trust," and sometimes Lincoln's profile itself. You don't need a microscope to spot this. If you hold it under the light and see what looks like a shadow or echo of the lettering, you might be holding something rare. Now, you might be thinking, all right, I've got some pennies in my drawer, let me go check. But wait a second, not every 2008 penny without a mint mark is a winner. The valuable ones are usually in near-perfect condition. We're talking about coins that barely saw the light of day. No scratches, no grime, no gum stuck to it from that one weird cousin. The $1 million penny? It was graded MS69 red. That's basically coin speak for almost perfect. The red part refers to the bright, original luster of the copper. The kind of shine that says, hey, I've been living in a collector's vault instead of someone's pants pocket. So how did this little coin rack up such a huge price tag? Simple. A collector at an elite auction was on the hunt for a one-of-a-kind piece. The penny was authenticated, verified, and slapped in a fancy plastic slab by a grading company. Once it hit the auction block, the bidding war exploded. It ended up selling for a whopping $2.7 million. That's right, more than the cost of some houses, yachts, and an entire aisle at Costco. Now, let me share a little story. About 10 years ago, I was digging around in my old coin jar looking for a few cents to cover a gas station snack. I spotted this shiny 2008 penny with no mint mark and a weird-looking, "In God We Trust" stamp. It looked funny to me, but I figured, it's just a penny. I slapped that sucker on the counter to buy a 2-for-1 gas station hot dog combo. I walked out feeling like a king. Until 2 weeks later when I saw an article about rare error pennies and that exact same double die design. To this day, I don't know if that was the penny. But I swear, if I ever see someone selling a hot dog for $2.7 million, I'm gonna lose my mind. Use a magnifying glass or loop to get a good look. Compare it with pictures online from certified grading sites if you're still unsure. Take it to a professional coin dealer or submit it to a grading service. Sure, it might cost a few bucks, but if it turns out to be worth millions, you're gonna feel like Indiana Jones discovering treasure in your laundry room. Here's a bonus for you. This isn't the only penny that's worth big bucks. There's the famous 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die, and even certain 1982 no mint mark varieties that are making waves. So if you're serious about hunting down treasure, start with your change. You never know what history and value is staring you right in the face. All right, my fellow coin hunters, we've covered a lot today. From the minting madness of the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny to my tragic tale of hot dog regret. And the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a penny, especially one that could be worth more than your car, your house, and your dog's college fund combined. Now listen, if you enjoyed this little journey into the world of valuable coins and you want more tips, tricks, and treasure stories, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, don't miss out. I've got tons more info coming your way on how to spot coins worth money, how to build a killer coin collection, and how to avoid spending a fortune on gas station snacks, so go check your change. Flip over those penny jars, and who knows, you might be sitting on a $2.7 million secret. Thanks for hanging out with me. Keep hunting, keep laughing, and as always, may your pockets be full of treasure. Hey folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever dropped a penny and just walked away like it was worthless? Be honest, we've all done it. But what if I told you that a plain OL 2015 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be worth $2.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. 2.8 million bucks. For a coin most people wouldn't bend over to pick up unless they needed it for a shopping cart at Aldi. Today, we're diving deep into the mystery, magic, and money behind this tiny copper-colored treasure. So grab a cup of coffee or a cold one, kick your feet up, and let's talk coins. And hey, if you've got a jar full of pennies sitting in your closet collecting dust, by the end of this video you might just be sprinting to crack that thing open with a hammer. A few years back, I was cleaning out my car. You know, that once-a-year ritual where you finally find out where all the fast food napkins and French fries have gone to die. Anyway, under the seat, I found a handful of crusty pennies. I was about to toss them into the nearest coin machine when I stopped and thought, hey, let me at least take a peek at these things. One of them was a 2015 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. Nothing fancy at first glance, and that's when I saw it. Someone, somewhere, sold a 2015 no mint mark penny for a jaw-dropping $2.8 million. I nearly dropped my phone. Now, mine wasn't the magical millionaire maker, but that moment turned me into a full-blown coin hunter. And let me tell you, the rabbit hole goes deep. First, the basics. The 2015 penny features the classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the front. Same familiar face, same serious expression, same I could use a nap look in his eyes. On the back, you've got the Union Shield design. It's made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, weighs 2.5 grams, and was minted by the millions. It wasn't just any regular coin. It had a very specific minting error combined with pristine condition. We're talking a die clash error, no mint mark, struck on the wrong planchet, basically a 1 in a billion combo. To make it even spicier, that particular coin was in MS69 red condition. That's coin speak for mint condition, like the coin never even got a finger smudge or a ride in a vending machine. Not a scratch, not a nick, just perfection. Coin collectors go absolutely nuts for this kind of quality. If your old rust bucket of a car suddenly turned out to be a one-of-a-kind prototype with rare factory errors, car nerds would throw cash at you like it's an auction. Same thing with coins. Center strikes, doubling in the letters or numbers, strange colors, or anything that looks off. Now don't go trying to polish it, that can ruin its value faster than microwaving a fork. Trust me, just handle it gently and let the pros do their thing. You'd be amazed at how many folks have found crazy valuable coins just sitting in change jars or stuck between couch cushions. And I know some of you are thinking, come on, this stuff doesn't happen to regular people. But it does. Every year, dozens of regular folks cash in big on rare coins they had no idea were worth anything, like my buddy Ray. Retired plumber. All he wanted to do was turn his spare change into gas money. He went through a couple hundred pennies, nothing too exciting, until he found a weird 2015 with a strange off-center strike. Sent it off for grading, and bam, $5,000. Not 2.8 million, but hey, that's still a few months' worth of steak dinners and fishing trips. Grade 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny is holding strong at around $2.8 million. It's one of those coins that collectors dream about. The demand is high and the supply is pretty much non-existent. That's the formula that drives prices through the roof. There are other valuable 2015 pennies too. Some with doubled dies, others with off-metal errors, maybe not worth millions, but easily a few hundred to a few thousand bucks. And hey, even if your 2015 penny isn't worth a fortune, this little adventure can be a fun hobby. Plus, it's way healthier than scrolling through social media or watching reruns of shows you've already memorized. So here's the takeaway. That little 2015 penny you almost ignored? It could be a multi-million-dollar treasure. All it takes is a keen eye, a little curiosity, and maybe a magnifying glass that doesn't make you look like Sherlock Holmes, whether you're looking to pay off debt, buy a boat, or just want a killer story to tell at the next barbecue. Checking your change might just be the ticket. If you enjoyed hanging out and learning something new today, go ahead and smash that subscribe button like you're cracking open a piggy bank. And hit that bell so you don't miss out on the next episode. We've got more coin secrets, money-making tips, and coin-collecting strategies coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next time you see a penny on the ground, pick it up. It might just change your life. Alright, folks, let me hit you with a question that might just blow your socks off. What if I told you there's a tiny little brown coin, probably lying in your junk drawer or wedged under your car seat, that could be worth more than a Lamborghini, a beachfront condo, and a small private island combined? Yup, we're talking about a 2016 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark that's been valued at a jaw-dropping $2.9 million. That's right, a penny. 1 cent worth more than the average house, the average retirement plan, and every lunch I've ever eaten combined. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions inside out looking for spare change, let me walk you through exactly why this particular coin is causing such a stir in the collector world. We're diving into what makes this coin so valuable, how to tell if you've got one, and yes, I'll even share a story about how I once thought I hit the jackpot, but it turned out to be gum. True story. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's talk about how a single penny from 2016 could turn you into a millionaire. You don't want to miss this one. It's part of the Lincoln Penny series that's been going strong since 1909. Most 2016 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now, the Philly ones typically don't carry a mint mark. So technically, the no mint mark is standard for Philly. But here's where it gets wild. The penny we're talking about wasn't just some ordinary Philadelphia mint job. No, this one has an error so rare, so specific, it's turned an ordinary coin into a millionaire's dream. The $2.9 million version of the 2016 no mint mark penny is a freak of the minting process. It has a 1 in a billion kind of error that sets it apart from every other penny out there. We're talking about a double die obverse error. That's a fancy way of saying the front of the coin, where good ol' Abe Lincoln is chillin', was struck twice by the die, but just slightly misaligned. This causes some parts of the design, like the date and the words "In God We Trust," to look all doubled up, and not in a blurry "I need glasses" way. We're talking sharp, noticeable doubling. Now add to that a super high-grade condition like mint state 67 or above, which basically means this coin was probably never circulated. It might have gone from the mint straight into a collector's hands, untouched, unsmudged, and unspent. That kind of condition is rare for a penny. And the cherry on top? It was graded and authenticated by one of the top coin grading services in the country, like PCGS or NGC, which gives it street cred in the coin world. All of that, plus the hype, the rarity, and a little market magic, turned this humble penny into a multimillion-dollar treasure. Yes and no. Normally, a penny from the Philadelphia Mint doesn't have a mint mark, and that's perfectly normal. But when that penny also has a major minting error and is preserved in near-perfect condition, it becomes a unique specimen. It's like finding a 4-leaf clover in a field of regular ones, but this clover is made of gold and sings Sinatra songs. First, look at the date. Is it 2016? Great. Flip it under a strong light and check the front. Is Lincoln looking crisp? Look at "In God We Trust." Does it look like the letters are doubled? What about Liberty or the date itself? Next, check the surface. Is it super shiny with no scratches, no discoloration, no signs of wear? If it looks like it just came off the press yesterday, you might be in luck. And if you're seeing any signs of doubling or misprints, don't go spending it on a gumball just yet. Get it graded. Seriously. Because having a coin that looks cool is one thing. Having a certified coin is what makes collectors pull out the big bucks. A couple of years ago, I was at this flea market, digging through a box of random coins a guy was selling for 25 cents each. I felt like Indiana Jones on a mission. I found this 2016 penny that looked pristine. No scratches, no discoloration. It had this weird-looking "In God We Trust" inscription that I was sure looked doubled. I went home, popped open my magnifying glass, and stared at that coin like I was decoding ancient hieroglyphs. I was convinced I hit the jackpot. I even started daydreaming about yachts, private jets, and retiring on a beach somewhere. Then my wife walked by, glanced at the coin and said, "There's something stuck on it." Yup, piece of lint. And the weird doubling, just a smudge of old glue or something. It wasn't a double die at all. It was more like a double sigh. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt. You win some, you laugh at the rest, and you keep searching. While we're here, keep in mind that 2016 isn't the only year with valuable errors. Coins from 1992 with close AM errors, or the famous 1955 double die, are also worth serious money. Sometimes it's the tiniest differences that make all the difference in value. That's why I always tell people, don't toss your change without checking it first. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. One moment it's a penny, the next moment it's your kid's college tuition, or your retirement fund, or your ticket to buy that ridiculous barbecue smoker you've always wanted. The 2016 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is normally just a regular coin. But when it's got a rare error, is in mint condition, and gets professionally graded, it can become a $2.9 million miracle. If you've got change lying around, go look through it. Check your pockets, your car cup holders, and your laundry room floor. You might just be sitting on a fortune. And remember, if you find something interesting, always get it checked by a pro before you go announcing you've made it big. Now, if you enjoyed hanging out with me today and you want more tips on coins worth real money, coin collecting strategies, and stories from the hunt, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, go ahead, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. I've got more hidden treasures to talk about, more hilarious flops to confess, and way more coin secrets that could change your life, or at least your spare change jar. Hey folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever dropped a penny and thought, it's just a penny, no big deal? Well, what if I told you that little copper-colored coin could be worth $3 million? Yeah, that's right. $3 million. Today, we're talking about one of the most overlooked coins in your change jar, the 1978 Lincoln penny. And trust me, after this video, you're going to be diving into your couch cushions like it's a gold mine. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's unravel the wild story of how one dirty old penny turned into a collector's dream worth more than most people's houses. And somewhere in between, I'll tell you about the time I almost spent a small fortune at a gas station because I didn't know any better. Yeah, you'll want to stick around for that. Let's start with the basics. The 1978 Lincoln penny. The D stands for Denver, which is where this beauty was minted. Now, normally, these coins aren't anything special. They made hundreds of millions of them that year. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these 1978 pennies have errors, rare metal compositions, and die varieties that make them incredibly valuable. And when I say valuable, I mean life-changing money. We're talking $3 million for one particular version of this coin. That's not a typo. That's real deal collector cash. So how does a penny get to be worth millions? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. Let's face it, not all coins are created equal. Most 1978 pennies are worth, well, 1 cent. But every now and then, a few slip through the cracks of quality control and end up with errors. These can be double dies, off-center strikes, or wrong planchet errors. That's when the penny is accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal. That kind of mistake turns an ordinary coin into a jackpot. This is a big one. Coin collectors are picky. The condition of the coin, especially whether it's uncirculated or has that shiny mint luster, can mean the difference between $1 and $1 million. That $3 million 1978 penny? It's in pristine, uncirculated condition with a rare die error that makes it one of a kind. You ever see those bidding wars on TV where people pay ridiculous amounts of money for a car that barely runs because it's vintage? Same thing here. Serious collectors with serious money are willing to pay big bucks for rare coins to complete their collections. If only one known example exists, you better believe there's going to be a bidding frenzy. I was in my 20s, broke, and living off of ramen and gas station coffee. One day, I was short on change and found a couple of pennies on my kitchen counter. Grabbed bought my coffee, and didn't think twice. Fast forward a few years, I'm watching a documentary on rare coins. Yeah, I'm that guy now, and I see a photo of a 1978 D penny with a specific die crack that looked real familiar. I dug through my old coin jar, but of course, that penny was long gone. Probably bought me a stale donut. And maybe it wasn't the $3 million one, but who knows? It still keeps me up at night. Grab a magnifying glass, dig out your change jars, and start checking your 1978 D Lincoln pennies. Here's what you want to look for: die cracks or doubling. Especially on the date or Lincoln's profile. Off-center strikes where part of the design is missing. If it feels too heavy or light, get it checked. Never been touched by dirty fingers or soda spills. If you think you've got something special, don't clean it. I repeat, do not polish it like your grandma's silverware. That kills the value faster than dropping it down a sewer grate. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. It's worth the investment if your coin could be worth even a fraction of what we're talking about. So there you have it. One of the most ordinary coins in your pocket could secretly be a millionaire in disguise. The 1978 D Lincoln penny might look like nothing, but under the right circumstances, it's a fortune waiting to be discovered. Coins like this don't come around often, but they do come around. People just like you have found them in pocket change, coin rolls, and even on the floor of their car. So before you toss that penny or leave it as a tip, take a closer look. That little coin could change your life. If you liked this video and want more tips on coins that are actually worth money, plus strategies on what to look for, where to find them, and how to make your collection work for you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Tap the like button if you've ever spent a rare coin by accident. Misery loves company, right? And drop a comment if you've got any 1978 D pennies lying around. I'd love to hear your story. All right, fellas, let me ask you something right out of the gate. Have you ever dropped a penny, looked down, and thought, it's just a penny, and walked away? Well, what if I told you that little copper coin could have been worth $1 million? Yup, that's right. A 1962 D Lincoln penny. $1 million. You're gonna wish you crawled under the car to pick it up. Welcome back to the channel, the spot where we turn pocket change into lottery tickets. I'm your host, your coin crazy buddy, and the guy who once searched through an entire 5-gallon jug of coins just to find a wheat penny. Spoiler alert, I found 3. My back still hasn't forgiven me. Today we're diving deep into the 1962 D Lincoln penny, how it ended up being worth $1 million, what makes it so valuable, and how you might just have one sitting in that dusty jar on your dresser. Alright, so here's the breakdown. The 1962 D Lincoln penny is a coin that was minted in Denver. You'll see that little D mint mark right below the year on the obverse. That's coin speak for the front of the coin. Good ol' Honest Abe's face staring off into the distance like he just realized someone paid $1 million for a penny. Now, here's the thing. In 1962, the Denver Mint cranked out over 1.7 billion of these pennies. Yes, billion with a B. So you're probably thinking, how can something so common be worth so much? Most 1962 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. Maybe a couple cents if they're in nice condition. But there are a few rare varieties and conditions that take this humble coin into the $1 million range. We're talking mint state condition, MS67 or higher. That's collector lingo for flawless. No scratches, perfect luster, and sharp details. It's like the coin just time-traveled from 1962 into your hand, but the one that hit the $1 million mark? That one was a perfect storm. It had an extremely rare die error, a double die reverse, plus it was in immaculate condition, graded by a top-tier certification company, and sold at auction with collectors fighting over it like it was the last rib at a barbecue. A few years ago, I was at my grandpa's house helping him clean out the attic. You know, dusty boxes, cobwebs, and about 600 photo albums full of people I didn't recognize. Just when I was about to give up, I spotted an old cigar box labeled car wash quarters and pocket change, a pile of old coins just sitting there like treasure waiting to be discovered. So I took it home, got myself a magnifying glass and a 6-pack, and went to work. I found wheat pennies, buffalo nickels, even a 1943 steel penny. But no 1962 D with any special error. I was bummed, sure. But let me tell you, there was something magical about sitting there and flipping through history. Every coin had a story. I kept going because that one coin, that $1 million dream could be just around the corner, and hey, the way my wife looked at me, shaking her head like I'd lost it, that was priceless. No nicks, scratches, or dullness. If it shines like it just left the mint, you're in business. This is a printing error where the design looks slightly doubled. Check the lettering, especially 1 cent and United States of America. If the letters look like they're shadowed or doubled, you may be onto something. These errors can also raise the value. If Lincoln's face looks like he's slipping off the coin, don't toss it. Professional grading. If you think you've got the one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify it and give you a grade that collectors trust. And if you're not sure what you're looking at, there are coin forums, online appraisal services, and even apps now that can help you figure it out. The 1962 D penny that went for $1 million didn't do that overnight. It passed through collectors, got slabbed by a grading company, and finally ended up at a high-end coin auction. That's where the magic happened. One collector dropped a jaw-dropping bid, 7 figures, to add it to their collection. Why? Because for some people, owning the rarest version of something common is like owning a piece of history. It's bragging rights, investment, and obsession all rolled into one. Now, that doesn't mean yours will fetch $1 million. But even a decent condition 1962 D with a small error can sell for hundreds, sometimes thousands. That's still not bad for something that could be hiding under your couch cushions. If you're thinking, all right, I want in on this, here's what you do. Start digging through your change. Ask your family if they've got jars of old coins. Hit up garage sales, estate auctions, even flea markets. You'd be surprised how many people offload valuable coins just thinking they're junk. A good magnifier, a coin album, maybe a red book or coin guide, and most importantly, have fun with it. Coin collecting isn't just about getting rich, although hey, that part is nice. It's about connecting with history, chasing the thrill of the hunt, and maybe finding a little magic in your pocket. The kind that most folks wouldn't bend over to pick up could be worth $1 million. That old jars of change can be treasure chests in disguise that you don't need a metal detector, a fancy museum, or a vault of gold bars to find real value. Sometimes all it takes is a coin and a keen eye. Now, if this video lit a spark in you, if you're ready to dig into that change jar and look at your pennies with a brand new sense of purpose, hit that subscribe button. We've got tons more tips, coin hunting strategies, and stories of everyday folks striking it rich with coins they forgot they even had. And who knows? The next $1 million penny might be in your pocket right now. All right, let me ask you a wild question. What if I told you there's a tiny little copper coin sitting in your junk drawer right now that's worth more than a brand new Ferrari? Nope, not a joke. I'm talking about the 1988 D Lincoln penny. That's right, 1 cent. A penny that's turning heads in the collector world with a jaw-dropping market value of $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me. $1.1 million. Stick around because I'm gonna tell you exactly what makes this humble coin so ridiculously valuable, how you can check if you have one, and how I almost used a rare coin like this to scrape gum off my shoe. True story. First things first, the D mint mark. That little letter under the date means the coin was minted in Denver. Over 5 billion of these were made in 1988. Yep, billions with a B. So how on earth is one of these things worth over $1 million? Not all 1988 D pennies are created equal. Most of them are, well, just pennies. But a few have something special. Something that makes collectors absolutely lose their minds. We're talking about a rare error known as the transitional reverse design. All right, hang with me. This part gets a little nerdy, but it's super cool once you understand it. So back in 1988, the mint was switching up some of the design elements on the back of the penny. That's the reverse side with the Lincoln Memorial. The version used in 1989 had a slightly different design, specifically around the letters FG, which are the designer's initials for Frank Gasparo. Now, by mistake, a few 1988 D pennies got stamped with the wrong reverse. The one that was supposed to be used in 1989. Oops. That's what turned a boring old penny into $1 million payday. Why is that such a big deal? Because error coins are like the celebrity scandals of the coin world. They're rare, exciting, and everyone wants to get their hands on them. Only a handful of these error 1988 D pennies have ever been found. That kind of rarity is what drives the value sky high. Let me paint a picture here. You're standing in line at a gas station. You get some change back, and in that little pile of coins is an unassuming 1988 D penny. You toss it in your pocket, forget about it for weeks. Then one day you're watching a video like this and you're like, wait a second, do I have that penny? You go check. You dig through your change jar. And boom, there it is. You just made $1,000,000. It's like winning the lottery, except you didn't even have to buy a ticket. Years ago, before I really got into coin collecting, I had this habit of picking coins up off the ground. Yeah, I was that guy. I saw a penny, I grabbed it. Didn't matter if it was face down or glued to the sidewalk. One day, I'm walking out of a grocery store and I spot this dirty, scratched up penny near the curb. I pick it up, look at the date, 1988. Cool, I think, another one for the jar. I took it home and I kid you not, I used it to scrape a dried up sticker off the kitchen counter. Total abuse. Fast forward to a few years later when I was reading about the 1988 D transitional reverse error. I go through my coin jar and realize that crusty old penny was a 1988 D. But by that time, it was so beat up from years of me using it as a mini shovel, it was worthless. Let me tell you, that one stings. Still does. Every time I see a penny now, I treat it like a baby chick. Grab a magnifying glass. Get in close on the reverse side of the coin. Look for the designer's initials FG to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. The key detail is how those letters look. The regular 1988 D has a more bold and curved design. The rare one, the 1989 reverse, has a sharper, more defined FG. It's subtle, but if you see it, you could be holding a gold mine. There's also condition to think about. Even if you have the right error, a coin that's been beaten up in circulation isn't going to bring in top dollar. But if it's in excellent condition, what collectors call mint state, you're talking 6 or 7 figures, you want to know how much someone paid for one of these beauties. One specimen sold for over $1.1 million at auction. And that's not even the record. Some experts believe if a perfect mint condition example pops up, it could go for more. That's why folks are digging through their jars, drawers, glove compartments, old piggy banks, you name it. If you think you've got the real deal, don't try to clean it. That's one of the biggest mistakes beginners make. You might think you're helping, but cleaning a coin can actually damage it and kill its value. Just keep it safe, maybe toss it in a coin flip or a plastic case and take it to a trusted coin dealer or grading service. Also, don't sleep on garage sales and estate sales. You'd be surprised how many people get rid of old coin collections without realizing what they're worth. I once saw a guy pick up a whole binder of Lincoln cents for $10 and one of them ended up being worth thousands. Not bad for a Saturday morning errand. So there you have it. The 1988 D Lincoln penny, a little copper coin with $1 million secret. It's rare, it's real, and it just might be sitting in your house right now. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you're officially smarter than most people when it comes to penny hunting. Now go check your change jar, your couch cushions, and your car cup holders. That tiny little coin could be your ticket to a massive payday. If you liked this video and you want more down-to-earth tips, hilarious fails, and coin collecting strategies that could put real money in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join the crew. We've got plenty more coins to talk about, and I promise to keep it fun, informative, and maybe just a little bit ridiculous. Hey there, coin hunters and change checkers. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? I'm not talking about counting quarters for laundry. I mean really looking at those pennies rattling around in your cup holder or hiding under the couch cushions. Because believe it or not, one of those little copper coins could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard me right. $1.2 million. For a penny. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on, it's just a penny. What could possibly make a penny worth that much? And that, my friends, is exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're talking about the legendary 1968 Lincoln penny. A coin that started its life like any other, but thanks to a perfect storm of minting quirks and collector demand, it's now a millionaire in copper clothing. So kick back, grab your favorite beverage, and get ready to become the person at every family gathering who says, "Hey, let me check your change for rare coins." Because after this video, you just might be the one who finds the next treasure in a coffee can. Let's get the basics out of the way first. The 1968 Lincoln penny was minted in San Francisco. That's what the little s under the year stands for. Now, in most cases, these pennies aren't rare. In fact, over 258 million were made. You heard me. Millions. So why in the world is one of them worth more than a Lamborghini? A small number of these 1968 pennies were struck in a way that makes them very, very different from the others. We're talking about a double die obverse. That's a fancy term for when the design on the front of the coin was stamped more than once, just slightly off. The result? Letters and numbers that look like they're shadowed or doubled. The most famous ones have doubling on the words Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as the date. Now here's the kicker. That doubling isn't from wear and tear. It happened during the minting process, which makes it a legit mint error. And mint errors are like catnip to collectors, especially when they're as sharp and dramatic as the ones on this coin. But wait, it gets better. Not only is it rare, but it's in unbelievable condition. One of these coins was graded at MS67 red by a major grading company. Translation: it's basically in perfect shape with that shiny red copper look, just like it came out of the machine yesterday. That's the one that fetched the whopping $1.2 million at auction. That auction was wild. People were bidding like it was a Super Bowl ticket mixed with a gold bar. Collectors knew exactly what they were looking at. This wasn't just a coin. It was a piece of American minting history. Now I know you're probably thinking, all right, that's great, but what are the odds of me finding one? And the answer is, better than you think. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple years back, I was at a garage sale, you know, the kind with old tools, dusty books, and that one box labeled junk drawer that always catches your eye. I asked the guy, "Hey, mind if I look through this box?" And what do I find? A handful of old pennies, all thrown together with buttons and dead batteries. One of them was a 1968 S. My heart skipped a beat. Now no, it wasn't the $1 million variety. No doubling. But it was a clean red specimen, and I ended up selling it for a nice chunk of change. No pun intended. And ever since then, I always take a second to flip those pennies over and check the date and mint mark. You'd be amazed at what people toss aside. And the crazy thing? Most people don't even know these coins exist. That's why collectors are willing to pay the big bucks when a top-quality one comes to light. Look for the S under the year. If it doesn't have the S, it's not the one. Get a magnifying glass and check the lettering. If you see shadows or doubled lines on Liberty or the date, you might be onto something huge. Red copper coins are worth more than brown or darker ones. The shinier, the better. No scratches, no dings, and sharp detail. A high-grade coin brings high-grade money. And please don't try cleaning it. That's like trying to polish a Picasso. You'll ruin the value. Leave it as it is, and if you think you've got something special, send it to a reputable grading service. Now, if you're feeling inspired to start checking your change, good. That's what I'm here for. Coins are like little time capsules. They travel through generations, through pockets and purses, through history. And every now and then, one of them turns out to be worth a fortune. You don't need to be a millionaire to get into coin collecting. You just need curiosity, a little patience, and a habit of checking your change before you spend it. And if you're already a collector or just coin curious, I recommend keeping a jar labeled Penny Possibles. Toss in anything interesting. Who knows? One of them could pay for your next vacation, your kid's college tuition, or heck, your dream car. Alright folks, if you've stuck with me this long, you're either really into coins or you're just hoping I'll tell you the secret location of a treasure chest buried under my front porch. Either way, I salute you. The 1968 Lincoln penny is a shining example of how something small, simple, and easily overlooked can hold unbelievable value. It's not just about copper and cents. It's about history, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt. So next time you're handed a handful of change, take a second. Flip that penny over. Check the year. Look for that tiny S mint mark. You just might find yourself holding a six-figure fortune. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more coin tips, crazy values, and stories from the trenches of coin hunting, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got a ton more to share, from $1 million quarters to nickels that'll blow your mind. Thanks for hanging out with me. Go check your change, and may the coin gods smile upon your next trip to the vending machine.